Oh, look at Bai Bernstein. He can love on both sides.
Yo!
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello, everybody. Another week, another movie podcast, another episode.
That's it.
That wasn't the order I should have said that. Whatever. I don't care.
I was expecting the typical Matt, Andrew, Rico thing, so I was waiting for you to go first. I thought that's what we were doing, so I didn't say anything. I was like,
I'm Matthew.
We're both.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rico De Gallo.
And we're back.
Yes.
This time we are going to be reviewing. Wait, reviewing? We never say review.
Essentially is.
Essentially
in a
what we
way.
do, but like we just don't like
Review, podcast,
Anyway.
whatever. We're talking about, is it Oscar bait? Is it not? We're talking about the Bradley Cooper directed movie, Maestro.
Maestro.
Yes.
Maestro.
Another biopic.
another biopic. Yes.
So, what is Maestro, you guys may be asking? Maestro is a complex love story that chronicles the life and relationship between conductor, composer Leonard Bernstein and actress Felicia Cohn. Bernstein.
No, it's a long name.
Montegra or whatever.
Montegra.
No, I the way I wrote
Montegra.
it.
Montalegre.
Montalegre. I was like, oh shit, that's really compact. I was like,
It
oh,
is
no.
but it's cool. It's cool. Either way, that's what we're talking about today. We're very excited, very happy to be back. As usual, we love recording. We may not love everything we talk about, but we always love coming together for you guys to record.
So yeah, is this a love territory movie for you guys? Is the question I will start with, because I did know it got an emotional reaction out of Rico here. So. I'm curious to know if it's in that love territory.
Threw him right under.
Hey man, that's good though. Hey man, if the art is getting an emotional reaction, that's good.
That was immediate. I thought we were gonna like kind of like work
Build
it up to it.
I
didn't know
thought
we're
so
just
too
gonna
for
go
a second,
in,
but hey, fuck it. I mean, if you want to start, we can save it for later. If you want to save it for
Let's
later.
go for it. All right, so this movie is a very, very emotional fucking roller coaster in the second half, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
First half is all build up for that kind of thing. It's setting the stones or setting all the groundwork for the love story between Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Cohn. So basically, actually, let's save the second half for later because that is a pretty good story beat to just go off on.
Yeah, sure. We can go chronological if you want.
We can just start from the beginning.
Starting right here, I will say I cried my fucking eyes out, and I was honestly like, so much so
Sorry,
that
buddy.
I watched it, and I watched it a second time, and then when I got to that part again, I was like, and then I messaged them on the group chat. I was like, dude, you guys are trying to fucking kill me. I was like,
I remember
oh my
that.
God.
And me and Matt were talking about it like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good.
Emotional reaction. So I interpreted it as good.
Yeah,
All they said
we both
was-
assumed you were like.
All they said is, did you cry?
I asked the question. I sent a picture of Homelander from The Boys when he was just like.
Yeah, we'll post it here.
Yeah,
You'll see
put a
the
picture.
image.
We'll put a picture. We'll put a picture.
But yeah, so so essentially, okay, so what we have in the clickbait title is Maestro Oscar bait, which, you know, I'll answer that question right off the bat. Like, I do kind of think it is. Does that mean it's bad? No, I don't think that either. Which is kind of crazy because, like, if you guys like look in like kind of like the film nerd circles, like Letterboxd, like even on IMDb to an extent, like a lot of people are shitting on this movie.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dude.
Really bad.
I'll show you
yeah,
one.
in terms of like the Oscars race, like this is 100% the one that people dislike the most. 100%.
What in the fuck? Really?
Yeah, it is a little like I do understand it. Like I do kind of want to like preface that like this movie is directed by Bradley Cooper. I think he has a writing credit. Let me see.
Yeah.
He does have a writing credit, and he's also directing it. And so like it does, you know, feel a little bit.
It was written by him
masturbatory in that
and
sense.
Josh Singer.
Yeah, Josh Singer, and then I'm not too sure.
He was
who
the director and the leading role. So yes, he was.
Yeah.
A lot of people I noticed because I was watching this. I don't have Netflix, so I was watching it at my girl's place, and I felt like I feel like people are criticizing this movie. Like I don't know what it was. Like I was like maybe 35 minutes into the movie, so I started looking at the reviews, and I was like, it has a 6 out of 10. That's crazy. Well, now it's a 6.6. But when I checked before, it was like a flat 6. And just to show you, dude, look, see, there's like a 4 right there already. Then there's another 4, a 5. Like people really were criticizing the movie. Like people were like kind of like, a lot of the like what Matt was saying about how it's showing that Bradley Cooper's writing, directing, and starring. Like a lot of people were saying like, oh, Bradley Cooper's just stroking his ego in this one. It was just kind of like that's a bit much. I don't think it's that kind of territory in terms of filmmaking, but he is doing a lot.
He does make Leonard Bernstein look very bad in a lot of ways, but it's good.
But it feels intentional. That felt intentional.
It's intentional.
That felt intentional for sure.
It's like this person wants freedom, wants to be happy, but at the same time, he's an asshole for doing what he's doing.
He's also a closeted bisexual man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like...
In my notes, I put "Bye Boy Bernstein" for him.
Yeah.
It
is kind of like a complex love story in the sense especially with his wife, who is, she knows about it, and, he doesn't hide it at all in front of her. One scene that really stuck out with me.
It was their deal because he was really sad. I think he had a writer's block for his music, and then she was like, "Well, if Summer doesn't sing in you anymore, like then you can't sing at all." Basically,
that was like the whole like trailer line. I remember.
Oh, was it? I don't ever watch trailers. But then she was talking to his sister in the park. And saying, like, if I have to make that sacrifice, then, and all this stuff, and, like, I guess I can do that. Mm-hmm. So she allowed him to have this relationship with other men as long as she keeps it quiet.
However, she wasn't always very happy being in the situation either.
I don't think
very, which is something I do really like about the movie. I like how it does delve into it. I talked about it briefly with Matt. I would have... Like, one of the criticisms I had read online was kind of like, oh, I would have enjoyed this movie more if it focused more on Bernstein's musical career. And I was like, I do get that, and a part of me did want that. But at the same time, it's sort of, it's an interesting angle to, I guess, apply to someone like Leonard Bernstein, because most people wouldn't really think about it. Like, oh, I don't really care if Leonard Bernstein was gay or not. I remember John Mulaney does that stand-up joke where he's like, so my dad came into the room one time and said... when Leonard Bernstein was gay, he wrote some of his worst work, and when he repressed the gay thoughts, he did some of his best. So it's just kind of like that was one of the I'm pretty sure I butchered the delivery and everything, but like the idea was just basically his dad was like, is he telling me not to be gay? Like literally, that was the first time I had heard something about Leonard Bernstein like being gay. I was like, Leonard Bernstein was gay, and I looked into it. I was like, oh, So I kind of had that pre-context going into this movie, but other than that, I do appreciate how it's really well shot too. That's another great thing about it.
Yeah, it's really like the presentation is definitely like a little on the nose, like Oscar baity. Like we're gonna try extremely hard for this, and like. Don't get me wrong, like it does have that, that technical aspect to it. It does look nice, but it does have that like I don't know, it does have that distracting factor for me. The little on the nose factor, the like try hard factor for it. Mm-hmm. Again, not to discredit its work because it does look nice. It does
great job
beautiful
to everybody, the entire crew for like all the great work. The great stylization. Like speaking of stylization, I like the transition shots from like the past when it was in black and white and then in color.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, go for it then.
If this movie feels like two different movies to me, because you see the first half, which is the black and white, which is like the building of the love story. These two are like, they're lovers. Like, it's great. Everything about this half of the movie is incredibly stylized to the point where everything is very symbolic of themselves. Like to the point where there's a part where he's conducting, he's doing his stuff, and Felicia is literally in his shadow, like in the background, and she's so small in such a big shadow, and that's like showing a lot right there. Every time they do a transition between one scene to another, they're literally running through sets to get to the next spot, and they'll even have like music numbers and like all these different like visual things that were like so outlandish compared to the second half, which is like all like sunny and like color. Because now everything's falling apart. Like everything's becoming real, and it's like it's no longer in that sitcom 1950s style anymore. So what do you guys think about all that stuff?
I really love with like the black and white stuff. Just how it kind of focuses more. It focused more on like his younger years, obviously, like that because like that was the point. And I liked how like there was that conflict with his lover, played by that actor Matt Boomer. I always remember because he's always in like everything in like smaller roles. He's a great actor, and he plays like his male like lover. and there's this conflict because then Felicia gets involved, and like Matt is like not sure. Matt Boomer's character isn't sure if like Leonard actually loves him or if he's doing to him what he's now doing to Felicia. I thought that was really great in the colorized or the non-colorized scenes. But what about you, Matt?
Yeah, they didn't really like touch too much on the relationship. Like, they, like obviously, like he's sleeping with him at the very beginning, and then the very next scene, he's being very flirtatious with I'm just gonna say Carey Mulligan's character.
Carey Mulligan.
That's easier for me.
Yeah, Carey Mulligan. She does great too.
She does fantastic. I thought she was like a huge highlight of this movie.
Is that Felicia?
Yes.
Yeah,
She did. I thought her performance was really good. Like I could. She's one of the front runners in the Oscar race right now. She with her nomination, which I think she deserved. Like I do think that's like a highlight of the movie. Like a lot of the complex emotions that she has to go through. Like one of the scenes that you mentioned, Rico, where she's like watching him perform, and he's I can't remember which what score it is. I do know it's like a very important piece of history. Like I do remember it was like very important at the time upon research, but just all the complex emotions that she has to go through of just loving him. How hard it is, how like damn, like
she knows his entire itinerary and everything. Like they even ask her like how is it like balancing your life with his life, and she's like, well, I'm more busy with the kids and everything like this, and then making sure his itinerary is known and all that stuff. So completely puts it like herself beside for him too. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay, but it puts into context like how tragic of a character she is.
It does.
It really is. It hammers home how sad it is from her perspective. Even when she confronts him during the Snoopy parade, which is I did find kind of funny because like my god, like this float of Snoopy's going by in this very very serious scene.
Like they're fucking having this heartbreaking moment, and then you just see Snoopy.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my god, I did not expect to have Snoopy kill a scene like this.
I was reading my notes right now. One of the things I wrote like for Felicia's character, which is it's a joke, but it's like it's a joke, but it's true. I was like Felicia Bernstein, more like Felicia Beardstein, because the whole beard thing in the gay community. You never heard of that? Have you guys heard of the beard?
I'm very.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically,
I'm not popular. Well,
I have a lot of friends in a lot of communities. Anyway, basically, what a beard is, it's just kind of like it's like a gay man who has a straight wife, but he has a gay lover on the side. So the woman in that situation is the beard.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured that's like I learned that even before I had like I guess gay friends. I don't know, like I had heard that term somewhere growing up, so I just figured like okay. And it was like a joke, so that's why I wrote that.
Interesting.
I guess
that makes sense, though. Yeah.
I guess I'm a poser. I don't know. That was one of the things I just thought of right now as I was reading it.
Yeah,
I did write that.
One thing I wanted to get into. Oh, okay. I want to hear what you had to say first. I'll remember it.
It's like this movie is incredibly tragic for her, like how you were saying earlier. Is because she puts her entire career. She was like an aspiring actress and everything, super confident going into it.
Yeah.
She made this entire transfer to this completely different place to make it in it, and she was like, I'm very confident. I'm okay with this. I want to put myself out there and strive for my dreams. But she legit put her dreams aside for Leonard, and he was not like he took her for granted and was not very grateful for the sacrifice that she made, and everything she did revolved around him so that he could find his happiness at a detriment to her own, being that sacrifice for everything. And then later on in the film, when they separate after the Snoopy scene, she gets back into it and she's doing really well. Everyone's like, yeah, dude, she's basically a director again. Like she's doing all this stuff. Like
it's great.
Like she's like found her own spot. She's back to how she was. And it was like after she stopped prioritizing his happiness and focused on hers, she actually started like succeeding, even though she still missed life with him. But anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. No, you're good. I was just curious to see how you guys felt about like the pacing of the movie. Did you ever feel like it was just kind of like lagging in a few?
The first half, I felt.
Okay, I was feeling
a lot of like I enjoyed the dance number, but kind of didn't need it there. Like I understood what the metaphor was of it, like because it's basically saying they're like they can never truly be together because of who they are and blah blah blah. And the dancers are representing the wall they create around each other. Duh, blah, blah. Like I get it.
Extremely.
I don't need a fucking dance number.
That was really well said.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I like how you worded that. That was good.
Thanks, man. Anyway, it's just kind of like, I don't need a dance number to explain that to me. Give me one solid scene with Carey Mulligan and Bradley Cooper acting their fucking asses off to get that point across. That was it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another fucking thing with like the fucking on the nose fucking features of this movie, like when they were first talking together, Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, when they were connecting, there's it was the first instant where I can't remember the exact line that Bradley Cooper said, but he basically flirts with her, and like the second he does that, the two
friends or whatever, the couple that were there.
Yeah, they're not. I wasn't even sure if they were a couple, but like they were saying some stuff like
the singers, right?
Yeah, the singers like, oh, carried away. I'm like, oh my god.
It was that
like,
older guy and the lady, and then Sarah Silverman's character who plays Bernstein's sister was there, and it was like a party, right? In the black and white scene. Okay.
Yeah, but it was that scene where like they interrupt them when like there was like, oh, carried away, but like it's so like on the nose. It's at that exact moment where he like makes a flirtatious advance towards her.
Yeah. At that point, it seems kind of campy and corny.
Dude,
so it's
and I'm like, okay, like, everything is so on the nose.
I just remember this one scene in the fucking like flashback scenes where Bradley Cooper. This made me laugh. He was just like, I'm reeling it in. Like, I was like, what are you doing? I was so confused. I was like, did Leonard Bernstein do that? Was he known for that? And like, I didn't understand it.
In his Oscar profile, I hope they show that.
And I'm not trying to be mean to Bradley Cooper because Bradley Cooper is a fantastic actor, writer, director. He is Rocket Raccoon for life. He was great. I love him in a lot of movies. No, like honestly, I say Rocket Raccoon because it's one of the most obscure characters that Bradley Cooper took and made sympathetic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm saying. He's a talented writer, actor, and director. So I didn't get, like it just made me laugh because I didn't get it. I was like, is that supposed to be funny? Is that like a weird tick he had? It was a little confusing, you know?
One thing I
just
really
made me think about it right now.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about this movie was the variety of like clothing and attire that they had.
That was good. The costume design was top tier.
It was crazy. Like the makeup on them, like in the flashback, or not the flashback, in the black and white sequence, he looks really young. I didn't even realize it was Bradley Cooper until like they went into color, and I was like, oh shit, that's Bradley. I was like, what the fuck?
Bradley.
That's Brad.
That's Brad the man.
Goomba, is that you? But yeah, so like they did a really great job, like costume design, makeup, everything. Even when they get older, like they make Bradley Cooper like pretty pudgy, like,
and then the makeup, the prosthetics on his skin for when he's older too, is really good.
All the sagging and everything, like it looks great. Like so do you guys want to get into the emotional aspects of the second half of this film?
Hey, are you ready to get into the emotional aspects of this film?
I was about to say, I want to know the scene that made you cry.
Let's do it.
Like, what was it?
What? You guys didn't know? All right.
You didn't tell us.
I thought this was an obvious scene where I was like, okay, I broke. Two different scenes.
Okay.
The first one is so after the Snoopy scene where she breaks up with him, they separate. He goes off and does this whole like single boy, hot girl era type of shit. So he does this. He's doing hella coke. He's fucking a bunch of dudes and doing all of his things. He's miserable. He's calling his daughter in a closet, like begging to like spend Thanksgiving with her and all this stuff. It's very, very sad. The Felicia is doing great. Like she's prospering, has a career going great. But they're both really sad and they actually do miss each other. Mm-hmm. So, and this is probably my favorite scene was when Bradley Cooper or Leonard Bernstein is doing his Maestro shit. And it's Symphony, I believe, 2. I think it was Revenge. I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. I'm spacing so hard. I should have wrote it down. But it's the scene where he's going hard.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like doing everything.
The final scene, right?
No.
It's his final like gravitas.
No, yeah, like in the church, right?
I know which one you're talking about.
Not that church.
Oh wait, it might have been the church
when he's older, right? When he's older and he's fancy, and then she's there watching.
It's the one where it's the one where he's surprised she shows up. Like, oh my god, you showed up.
Hey, I'm not gonna say anything. I just want to show you. I know what you're talking about. That, right?
Yes, exactly that. All right. Okay, yes. So he's doing all this thing, and throughout this, even the people that are like doing the strings, like the violins, everyone is like really getting into it, like fucking rocking out. Like everyone is radiating the same type of energy. Mm-hmm. For the most part, this is like a one shot too of him just going
ham
for so long.
He was like John Williams on a Star Wars score. He was just kind of like.
Yeah, legitimate
going
like
hard, going
sweat
hard.
just
like you see it.
dripping.
It's awesome.
And he's pouring everything into it, and he's feeling like a sense of euphoria for it. And then like at the very end, go ahead and say what happens.
So at the very end, because I showed Rico the note that I took, because I that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, dude.
Yes.
So hell yeah, I'm with you on that one. Basically, at the very end, Bernstein, he's done. He finishes his whole symphony of the night kind of shit, and then he looks over, and then he sees Felicia there watching. She's just standing there watching, and he walks up to her, and he just asks, "Darling, why did you come?" And she just hugs him and says, "There's no hate in your heart." And that's a beautiful line right there. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite scenes, and I loved how that was like basically like near the end of the movie. I was like, that's the best spot to have this scene. It was so beautiful. You felt like that. That's where you see Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan's acting skills really just because it's so simple. It's a simple exchange of dialogue,
simple interaction too.
But they do so much with it, and it's awesome.
The emotional beat of
Absolutely.
that moment is just like so many like they just like this is what he wanted. Like
absolutely.
Oh fuck.
And then him crying.
I love that moment of levity too. Like it needed the movie kind of needed that right after that argument that they had, that separation period.
Yeah.
Like
it was beautiful, dude.
It was really well fucking executed. I will give the movie that.
The scene that really made me cry though.
Here we go.
I'm curious. I think I know what it is because like it's the scene that stands out in my head.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's the very next scene when he's at the hospital with her and she's there for the doctor checkup.
Oh.
And then the doctor walks in, and they're both sitting on the like the little like table, the bed thing in the doctor's office, and it looks cute. Like they look cute together. They're finally back together on the same page with each other. They've learned a lot of lessons and learned that they needed each other. And in this scene, the doctor walks in, no fucking games, walks right up to her and is just like, "You have cancer. We don't know if it's spread to your lung or anything." And like he's trying his best to like see all the options and doing all this stuff. He's being really responsible in this situation. And then it's just like she breaks and it's like, oh my god, dude. I broke. And then for like the rest of the movie, I was just bawling my eyes out. I was like, oh my god. Is that what you were talking about?
Is that
too?
the scene you were thinking of?
No.
What?
So
what scene were you thinking of that he cried on? I'm curious now.
No, I know I've talked to you about it, like because it made me feel hella bad for her,
me.
especially. That is definitely like a scene that really got to me. I'm like, damn,
that was hard.
But freaking the scene where they're in the theater and he has his lover there too, and he chose to like put his hand on her, and she like
that was
you
rough.
chose him over me, like in that
nuts.
instance.
That's nuts.
And then she left and then threw his like toothbrush and
Just how hurt she felt. She was like, yeah, like
don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. We love you, but don't do it.
mild intermission.
Mild intermission. We apologize.
Back to it.
Back to it. Anyway.
But yeah, that scene just hella got to me because it's like, not to say like I don't know. I've experienced similar stuff to that, and it's like, damn, like it got to me on that level.
It's never
like,
easy to do. Yeah, dude.
Did you cry in this movie?
No, I didn't cry, but that scene got to me. I was like, damn, I've literally like experienced like similar stuff to that, and I've been in like literally someone I was in a relationship with, like. In front of me, like and it's like, damn, like I can relate to that scene too,
course,
and
dude.
like, yeah, like this movie does have like a lot of shades of just like human, interactions that like you can relate to. The like, like how like we don't have to get into every detail, but like we've all have experienced like traces of like sadness.
No, of course,
like,
and I was
your relationship complexities to this level.
Of course, I want to add to your point because I completely agree. I feel like all three of us, we've all had, we can connect to this movie in the sense of like our past romantic, interactions. We've all talked about it personally with each other. So I feel like that's one thing that I think this movie does pretty well. It definitely, I said this to my my lady when I was watching it. I was like, I don't know. I feel like when I was watching it, I felt this for like a second. I was like, this kind of feels like A Star Is Born, but they replaced that guy with Leonard Bernstein sometimes,
And Bradley Cooper directed
like
that
that's
too.
but you see, but that's my point. That's my point.
Oh.
I felt
and he was starting that too.
like I felt the similarities in like I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what scene it was specifically that made me just think of it. But it was I think it was one of the scenes where Bernstein was like doing drugs and partying up, and I was like, oh. But like it's still a great film. I think like it's not like anything. I don't want to be mean and say it doesn't deserve an Oscar nomination because I still think on a technical level, this is pretty good. Like in terms of director Bradley Cooper, he does do a lot of things well in this one. You could nitpick little things here and there, obviously, and I wouldn't want to make anyone's feelings about it feel invalid because maybe there are bigger people, or there are people who are a bigger Leonard Bernstein fan than I am. So they probably dislike this movie for a different reason.
No, exactly.
So it's like you got to respect every kind of like, you know, adaptation of something.
Like we looked at the reviews beforehand.
No, of
like,
course, yeah. You want to like at least have that self-awareness when you are speaking your mind on something like that. So I think it is a little Oscar baity, like a little bit, but not a lot. So that's one thing I kind of was like feeling about this movie for sure.
Okay. I do feel the Oscar baity quite a bit, but like I said in the beginning, I don't think that translates to bad. Like
no, not at all.
Like me
not
watching the movie, I wasn't like, you know, watching it like pissed off. Like, oh my god, like
of course
he's trying way too hard right now. Like this is pretty bad. Like
a lot of people were doing.
No, exactly. Like
which is weird.
Like I can acknowledge like the on the nose natures of it, and like those are some criticisms that I share as well. But like overall, like I still enjoy the movie overall.
Yeah,
like,
it's a great watch.
Is it an Oscar-worthy Best Picture movie? To me, no. I don't think so. Like, there's definitely movies that, you know, you can argue about each year. But, like, you know, the accolades that I most agree with is probably Carey Mulligan's performance. That was, like, the performance that stood out to me the most. That's... I'm not exactly sure how many categories it got nominated for. I want to say, like, maybe, like, 6 or 5.
Oh, wow.
It got nominated for a bit. So Best Picture, Bradley Cooper, Carey Mulligan. I want to say maybe cinematography, maybe editing, and a few others. But yeah, the one I advocate for the most is probably Carey Mulligan's performance. I thought she did damn great in this movie, along with Bradley. I don't want to discredit and say he was bad because like everyone did really good here.
He was. Like again, given everything that he was doing here, writing, directing, and acting, it's never an easy job. Like for anyone, like no matter how great or how not great you are, it's still a hard job.
Yeah,
to do all three.
I would say, in the question of is this movie Oscar baity, I would say it has elements that could be misconstrued as like Oscar baity. But what I like about it is that it doesn't take that obvious route of like they could have framed this movie completely differently, being like, oh, this bi icon, like despite all of his like all the struggles he had to go through, still like became this amazing person that won the Lifetime Achievement Award, did all this despite anything that came his way. No, it's like, no, he's kind of an asshole. Like he's a very good person. However, he's incredibly flawed and very, very selfish to the point where he put his own happiness in front of the happiness of his wife, who also, that was weird, who also sacrificed everything for him. And he still, like, he just did not take her, like, he just took her for granted. And it was very, very bad. It painted, like, because it could have made him, like, a holier than now type of, like, savior type of person that was good to everyone and loved everyone and all this stuff. But he made a lot of mistakes. And I like how they showed the darker side of it and didn't sugarcoat it,
which is always important, especially when you're doing a film based on a real person. It's important to get it right in terms of both perspective, because a biopic could easily take the route of like depicting somebody as something they're not or something they never were, but it looks good on paper. So, I definitely agree with you in terms of I respect Bradley Cooper for taking that route where most directors could easily not, you know?
Yeah.
So it's I definitely agree with you on that. It's mad respectful to the way Bradley Cooper took this film and adapted it. But again, I'm still kind of like, I don't know if it's worth an Oscar. But if it were to win, I wouldn't agree, but I could respect the win, I think. That's something I could say about it.
I guess I would just preface that, like, I don't know much about Leonard Bernstein, and, like, I haven't, like, done my research afterwards to do, like, a compare and contrast. What did the movie do right? What did the movie do wrong? Like, you know...
I did a little research, but not, like, a lot.
Yeah, I heard like one thing like they did his nose a little too big or something like that, which was like a weird choice to do.
Atlas.
So yeah, like apparently like when in like the older sequences his nose is bigger, which like isn't even true. Like so like why even make the nose bigger in the movie? So like I don't know. Like apparently like this movie has like a lot of weird like inconsistencies like that. So I don't know. I haven't gone through every nook and cranny of that. So you know, like I said, I'm just judging it based off of this first experience. And, you know, like I said, I do think it's Oscar baity and I do like it overall. I I'm curious to know. I mean, do you guys want to get into ratings? Or,
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah.
okay. There is a. It's okay. It's
I do
alright.
want to say, I just last note is just kind of like I just really respect Bradley Cooper for this movie overall. Like
Mhm.
this is no way.
I want him to try more things like
Yeah,
this.
no, exactly. I was so happy that he was doing something else again. I was like, oh, he was really good with The Star Is Born, so I'm excited to see what he does like with this, and I enjoyed it overall too. I'm with you on that, so I'm down to get into ratings.
One thing I.
Get down,
boy.
Get your ass off his head.
You're just mad because we're not giving you attention, huh?
is okay, I gave him a pet.
What a pussycat, you know?
So, one thing I did want to mention before we get into ratings,
Mm-hmm.
I did like how his music was interspliced into the movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't
was
like
good.
focused on like, oh, this is him like getting really into it. Like, oh, this is him making the big score. You guys all know this one. Like, it wasn't like
Yeah,
hell on the
exactly.
nose in that
Yeah.
sense. I love that it didn't do that.
I respect that so much. It was like it was a good creative decision on Bradley Cooper's part.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the music was just edited in the background. Everything in the score that you hear is Leonard Bernstein. So, like, I thought that was a cool detail.
That is cool.
Granted, I wouldn't have known that if there weren't subtitles there. So,
Right.
I gotta be honest.
I don't
hey,
know.
respect the honesty because me too.
I didn't know Leonard Bernstein until this movie.
No, exactly.
I didn't even realize that this was a real person until
Yeah,
this
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I did a little research afterwards. I was like, oh, okay.
So yeah, that's where like again, that's why I wanted to preface that like none of us did much research on who Leonard Bernstein was as a person, which I'm not gonna say like you should like
You don't have to.
granted like
That's what the movie's for.
yeah the piece of art
Like it gives you something.
yeah like the piece if you want to do research afterwards, I fully advocate for that. Like if you want to learn more about Leonard Bernstein, then that's.
It's important to know culture, I think.
No, exactly, and I definitely can see like people can argue like, oh well, that should have been in the movie. Well, I can definitely understand that. The movie, with every biopic, you could definitely criticize like what aspects it focused on, what it didn't, and whether it satisfied you is up to you. This one, I liked it. I guess I'm down to get into ratings.
Yeah.
You guys want to get into it? Okay. I'm already talking, so like I
No,
guess I'll get
you
into
can.
it.
I'm just watching Atlas. Make sure he does that.
You
I'm
better
scared.
not.
I'm so scared. Go on.
Yeah, he might hop on the table.
I'll
So
RKO you, cat.
be prepared for that, guys. But yeah, I'll get my rating out of the way really quick here. Yeah, overall, I did really like it. It is Oscar baity, but I don't think it's bad.
Get out of here, punk.
All right, we're back.
All right.
So yeah, overall, I didn't think this movie was nearly as egregious as a lot of people are making it out to be. Yeah, I definitely agree that it's Oscar baity. I don't think it translates to bad though. I do think there is a lot of good work here. I definitely want to see Bradley Cooper tackle something a little less masturbatory with the writing credits, directing, acting. I don't know. I would like to see a little bit restraint on that.
I want to see writer-director Bradley Cooper. I want to see how that one works.
I would like to see just direct.
Because I think writer-directors are some of the strongest storytellers because it's like they're doing...
They have more creative
They have
control.
more creative control,
Yeah.
and they can rework the story if necessary, and it's like they're writing it, so they can fix it because they're also directing it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best combo to have. Like you don't always have to act in the films you direct or write.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like a budget constraint thing too that you can do. Like, oh, I can act in my own movie. Like that could. I could
It
take
could have
my
been that
role.
for him too. Maybe he just didn't want to spend more money on a lead actor.
I definitely felt like it was like, all right, I'm gonna try to go for the Oscar. Sorry, guys. Rico's cat is being quite a bad boy.
Anyways, continue.
Now you listen to me, little cat. But yeah, continue with your rating, Matt, while Rico handles the cat.
Yeah. So overall, we are going to be doing an Oscar video here soon. I will be interested to see the actresses in their other respective categories, but Carey Mulligan's performance is Oscar worthy. I will say that out of this movie. It's damn good. Everything else, don't think so. I think I've liked elements in other movies a bit more. But yeah, overall, I do like this movie. I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. But yeah, I will solidify this at a... There's another one of those things where I hate half ratings. Like
Just give yourself a full one. Whatever you want.
I'm
bro. It's
thinking.
your rating. It's
You
your
gotta
rating.
commit to one side.
I will.
You gotta.
It's either like a 6 or a 7 for me, and I'm gonna give it a Because I already felt like I gave Killers a little too high. So I was like, do I want to do that again?
Fair enough.
I think I will. Sorry, guys. I'll solidify it a 6.
6.
All
right.
I'll solidify it a 6, but like a high 6.
All right.
A high 6. I'll preface that. It could maybe go up to a 7.
God damn it, Matt. We just talked about half ratings. You can't half it.
Hey, man.
I'm kidding.
I'll solidify it on a 6. Yeah.
6,
I'll solidify it on a 6. Go ahead, Andrew.
6. Okay. I really enjoyed watching this movie. It's very it has a lot of cute moments. I was like, oh, look at Bob Bernstein. He can love on both sides. It's so cute. It's nice. Like, it's important to, I guess, like, have representation in certain things, for every kind of culture and community. So it's always cool to see it, especially see it get like an Oscar nomination. Like, that's cool. Like, I always respect when cultural movies get nominated. And Bernstein is like cultural in the sense of not only sophisticated music, but just like, he did a lot of stuff that regular celebrities and fucking rock stars do. He fucking did cocaine on a dollar bill. He fucked little twinks, he was a celebrity. He just was a sophisticated celebrity, if you will. So I enjoyed the movie overall. I don't think it's Oscar worthy. I don't, but if it were to win the Oscar, I wouldn't really be upset, I guess. I would prefer something else to win. I would 100%. So I'm going to hit this one with like a 7. I don't think it commits any horrible crimes. I don't think it's a terrible movie by any means. I don't think it deserves like an 8 or a 9, but it doesn't deserve like a 4 or a 5, So, Rico?
Respectable.
Well, I gotta say that this movie has a lot of different elements that could very much well be construed as Oscar baity.
Mm.
I went over it earlier, and I will reiterate a couple aspects of that, is that basically everything that they did with like the whole LGBTQ thing of their relationship could have been the focus, and they could have created a story where this was a hero, like he was like some like gay
savior. Messiah,
gay Messiah,
yeah,
exactly.
They could have done that, but they didn't.
A bi Messiah, and like done all this stuff where they just painted this narrative of him being like great, which is the common trope about all these Oscar baiting movies, is that they sensationalize a story that they want to create about a certain topic instead of showing the darker sides of it. Like,
you just I don't mean to interrupt you. I thought of this really quick because you said that was The Greatest Showman, the musical. They depict the character played by Hugh Jackman as this great guy that supported these outsiders to come into the regular world, because there is no such thing as a regular world for you, because you're different, but you should accept it. He was nothing like that.
Apparently, he was a monster.
He was a monster.
Was he really?
He was.
Apparently,
absolutely.
yeah. Like that's a huge.
Because here's my thing, dude.
That movie.
I'm all about The Greatest Show, but I love Hugh Jackman singing in that. Him and Zac Efron, that song they did together in that movie. Top tier.
That's why biopics for me are hard to fucking.
That's my favorite too. I've never seen.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, that guy was a fucking monster, but they didn't show any of that. They made him this fucking messiah of outsiders. So, like, just to add to Rico's point, it's great that Bradley Cooper did it.
They didn't sugarcoat it. Like, he did some fucking bullshit throughout the movie. Like, it was really fucked up. And I like how they didn't do, like... Because, I gotta say, the first half of this movie is entirely unique. Like, the way they went about, like, transitioning from scenes, running through sets, doing all that stuff, all the editing that went into it, really cool. All the, like, just visuals of that first half of the movie is spectacular. The second half does not have any of those kinds of qualities to it. Like, it definitely changes the focus of the movie from the visual and storytelling, like, through that kind of stuff, time transition, all that stuff, to just a more emotionally charged story, and trying to crescendo it to this point that they get to at the end, which unfortunately he does end up alone, just like how Felicia said he was, and
he hasn't changed.
Yeah, so he's still pursuing what makes himself happy, and I mean it kind of paints a narrative where kind of seems like he just went back to his vices and everything.
He basically, I mean, the movie ends on that note, like showing him dancing with another little twink, like in a club, smoking a cigarette with a beer in his hand.
Still partying.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, but I don't know anything about the guy in real life. I don't know anything about that other than that he just won a lot of awards and accolades, and he got the Lifetime Achievement Award, passed away in the 90s. Other than that, I went into this having no knowledge of this movie, what the tone was, what the story would be, and I still say I love this movie. I thought this movie made me feel a lot. the energy that Bradley Cooper put into the Maestro part where he's conducting that symphony with Felicia Day coming back and watching him, or Felicia Cohn watching him from the sideline. That is amazing. That was a great scene on his part. And so with that being said, I would give this an 8 out of 10. And I would actually say that I think this is an Oscar-worthy movie.
Fuck yeah.
So glad we got some variety in that. I thought we were all on the same page going into this. I'm glad that you guys had a different take on it than me.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm glad I got an emotional response out of you. I mean, I didn't love it.
It makes me happy that like he gave you that kind of like, which is the point of this movie. Like it wants people to react that way.
Admittedly, it's not very hard, but I mean,
we still love you, buddy. It's okay.
But you getting feelings too, that's a big accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Not crying, but you did feel a type of way.
We connected to this for sure.
Yeah, I'm emotionally dead inside. If I cry, then the movie did some damn right shit. Yeah, no, freaking, yeah, I still liked it. I mean, you know, like I think all of Rico's points are completely valid. I've seen some people rate it that high too, and like I think that's totally valid too. What I think is crazy is that like people are shitting on this movie like
too much,
like 2 or 3 out of 10.
That is shocking.
That really surprised me. I'm like, Jesus, it's really not that bad.
That's excessive. That's excessive. Like that's like Army of the Dead bad. That's not.
No, exactly. I'm like, guys,
like Maestro doesn't deserve that. Maestro does not deserve that.
That's like Rebel Moon. Like what the?
Yeah, I'm like.
But you see how much nicer I was to you about disagreeing than you were. You see, did it look hard? Did it look hard?
It looked a little.
I'm gonna punch you out.
I just can't.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think we can wrap this one up.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We're done. We're just about done.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, freaking all across the board here, and yeah, I think we can wrap this one up. And yeah, that wraps our second Oscar movie discussion. Be on the lookout for our third one, which we did tell you guys last week this would be Poor Things,
but we lied. Because we lie all the time.
Yeah. we did give you heads up.
I love it. All the people just look at the camera and just
go, what you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do about it? But you're saying, though, Matt.
But yeah, so next week will be Poor Things. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to plug? The socials are going to be going as strong as usual. Anything you want to put into TikTok?
I have finished up that last Mortal Kombat thing that we're working on. I might post it on my personal YouTube page as well, so you guys can see it on like a bigger screen because the file is a little bit bigger, so it might look nicer on YouTube as well versus just on TikTok screen. So I'll keep you guys updated on the TikTok page about that.
Okay. Yeah, I got nothing to plug. I think we got everything good. All of our socials will be in the description below. Please watch our older episodes. We have definitely improved a lot, and I have to say their editing skills are fucking sick now.
Hell yeah.
We're doing a lot more technical stuff. They've been watching some videos about how to edit better, and damn, they've actually been taking it.
So Rico's being a little too humble. He's been helping us a lot too.
we watched like half of one video. Rico was like, "All right, I got it."
And then Rico's a damn good teacher.
I just need a little refresher. It's been a while, but yeah. Also, we're painting, and it's been fun. So
yeah, that's sick.
Painting is fun. Painting is fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll add some of the pictures into like some of our editing of these videos.
Yeah,
look at some of Rico's sick art.
Like since this is like a love episode or whatever, Rico, being the great teacher that he was, helped me learn how to paint a picture for my girlfriend, and she really loved it. So he's a great teacher overall.
Same thing for him.
Yeah, mine's gonna be a stack of pancakes. It's gonna look
Spoiler! What if your girl sees it? She was like, what if she sees the episode?
She hates me. She doesn't watch her stuff. No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, she really doesn't watch her stuff, but she loves me. She doesn't watch.
Are you sure? She's like, that's your thing.
That's you.
I'll support you from afar.
I still love her. Yeah, next week, Poor Things.
Poor Things, hopefully.
Have a good one, guys.
Figure it out.
Bye.
Later. So,
okay, cool.
Smoke break?
What's this one at?
I don't smoke.
55. Stop it. Yeah. Okay, so we could...